Welcome to my YouTube channel, Dreamify Animation. In a quiet town nestled between two forested mountains, something strange and unexplainable existed, something the world never paid attention to, but should have. This is the story of Elijah. Reed, the boy who hadn't slept in 13 years. His parents, doctors, and therapists had all tried everything. Medication, hypnosis, brain scans, but no one could understand it. From the day he turned 3, Elijah's body refused to sleep. Yet he never felt tired. He never yawned. His eyes bright and constantly alert. Watched the world in silence when everyone else shut theirs. By day, he was quiet, isolated, and odd. He didn't talk much, didn't play with the other kids, and spent most of his time reading or sitting on his porch, staring into the woods like he was waiting for something. But it was during the nights when Elijah truly lived. He wandered the streets, the forests, and the edges of the town, exploring, listening, watching. Because while others dreamed behind closed eyelids, Elijah was seeing something very real. Creatures made of shadow and smoke, walking just outside the reach of the streetlights. Doors creaked open when no one was near. Footsteps echoed in empty parks. Whispers filled the air when the wind was still, and Elijah saw them all. At first he thought he was going mad, but he began recording them, sketches, notes, patterns. Each night the creatures grew bolder. He called them the lurking. Tall, distorted silhouettes with hollow faces and spindly fingers. They never noticed him until his 12th birthday. That night, as he walked past the old abandoned mill on the edge of town, one of them turned. Its eyeless face locked onto him. It hissed, and from that moment on, they knew he could see. Soon after, things changed. People in town began waking up with strange bruises. Pets disappeared. Trees bent in unnatural ways, like they were afraid. And Elijah's own reflection started moving slightly out of sync, like it wasn't truly his. But no one believed him, not even his parents. They thought he was hallucinating, that sleep deprivation had finally broken his mind. But Elijah knew the truth. The lurking were crossing over from dream to waking world, and he was the only one who could stop them. He started tracking their movements. They followed patterns, always appearing at the same time each night, circling the same homes, whispering the same phrases. The sleeper must wake. Elijah didn't know what it meant, but he was determined to find out. He built devices using copper wires and mirrors, capturing glimpses of their shapes. He set traps, ones they somehow always avoided, as if they could see into his mind. But then he found the journal, hidden in the attic of the town's library. Behind a crumbling wall was a leather-bound journal written by someone named Dr. August Vale. The entries were dated over 100 years ago and detailed nearly identical sightings, shadows that lived between dreams and reality, feeding off the unconscious. Dr. Vale had been a sleep researcher who believed certain minds could anchor dream entities. His final entry chilled Elijah to his bones. The sleepless child is the key. If he sees them, they see him. And if he listens too long, they will speak through him. Elijah now understood. He wasn't just seeing them. He was connected to them. They were using his insomnia as a bridge. The boundary between dreams and reality had weakened because of him. The lurking were bleeding through, turning waking life into a nightmare. And worse, they wanted more. They were looking for something. A being they called the sleeper. Elijah began to dream for the first time in years, but not by sleeping. Instead, during the quietest hours of the night, he would experience visions. He'd blink and suddenly find himself in a warped version of his town, drenched in mist. Buildings floating, clocks spinning backward, a dream world, and in the center of it all stood a large stone door, buried beneath the town's lake, guarded by creatures larger than houses, made of stitched cloth and broken lullabies. Behind that door, Elijah knew, was the sleeper, and the lurking were trying to wake it. He needed help, so he went to Iris, the daughter of a local nurse, and the only person who'd ever treated him like a friend. Iris was fascinated by dreams, studying lucid dreaming and keeping dream journals. When Elijah told her everything, she didn't laugh. She didn't call him crazy. She showed him her journal. She had seen the shadows tonally in her sleep. Their forms were identical to Elijah's sketches. She had drawn the same door beneath the lake. Somehow they were both connected. Together they searched the town for answers. They visited the cemetery, where old gravestones held cryptic messages, like "Do not wake the waters and let the sleeper lie." They found hidden rooms beneath the school, filled with ancient symbols and dust-covered dreamcatchers, and in the forest, deep beneath the roots of the oldest tree, they discovered a hollowed chamber walls covered in mirror shards, and carved into it a single line: "He who never sleeps must seal what he sees." Elijah was the gatekeeper. His curse's endless wakefulness was meant to keep the dream world sealed, but the years had weakened the veil. Now, to reseal it, he would have to cross fully into the dream and face the lurking where they ruled. Iris helped him create a dream tether mechanism of sound, light, and memory to keep him anchored to reality while he ventured in. But there was one problem: he couldn't sleep. He couldn't cross over like others, so Iris volunteered. She slept, connected to the device, and Elijah used her dreams as a portal. Entering her mind, he slipped through the cracks and into the twisted landscape. There, the skies screamed, the stars blinked like eyes, and the roads breathed beneath his feet. The lurking waited, and so did the door. Elijah confronted them not with weapons, but with understanding. He realized the lurking weren't evil. They were memories, emotions, regrets that had been abandoned in dreams. They were everything people forgot when they woke up. And now, after centuries of being discarded, they wanted form. They wanted to be seen. But the sleeper was different. It wasn't a creature. It was a collective dreamer, godlike entity, born from humanity's need to rest, to escape, to forget pain. The lurking wanted to wake it so they could be made real. But if they succeeded, the dream would collapse, and reality with it. Elijah made a choice. He walked to the door. The lurking begged him to open it. Iris screamed from beyond the veil, begging him to stop. And Elijah remembered the line: "He who never sleeps must seal what he sees." He pressed his hand to the door and did not open it. Instead, he whispered every memory he had, every forgotten pain, joy, fear. He gave the dream world the thing it truly craved: remembrance. The lurking slowly faded, their forms turning to light. The door sealed itself, locking the sleeper behind layers of memory, not force. Elijah returned. The tether snapped, and Iris woke screaming. But the world was still calm. For the first time in months, there were no whispers in the wind, no shadows in reflections. And that night, Elijah did something impossible. He slept. For 12 hours straight. His parents cried. Iris stayed by his side. And when he woke, the first thing he said was, "I saw color in the dark." Elijah's curse was lifted. But he remembered everything. And every now and then, when a person forgets a dream too quickly, or a shadow moves in the corner of their eye, he knows some lurking still remain. But now he teaches others quietly, in secret, how to remember, how to seal the cracks with memories. Because dreams are not just stories we forget, they are doors, and some must stay. Close. Thank you for watching this episode on Dreamify Animation. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who loves mysterious tales that blur the line between sleep and waking. Until next time, keep dreaming, but remember, always wake up.